I took one of my students from zero to actually making $1,000 every single day inside of a few months. And this is actually going to be the video where I'm going to interview him and talk to him about how he actually managed to do that, okay? The interesting thing here is he has no clue why this actually worked out. You're actually going to see that in the video that he's purely just executing the exact strategy I told him, and it did work, and you don't need to know all the theory around it, why it works. You just need to do it and it works. All right, so this is actually a two-part series where we filmed two interviews around 1.5 months apart. This is the first part where you actually only made like $25,000, and in the second part you already managed to go over 150K in sales. So that's actually coming out next week on Sunday, and trust me, it's going to be super interesting to see how we went from 0 to 25K and from 25K to 150K, okay? So basically, let's start with the first 25K.
All right, yeah, welcome Arman to the interview. Basically, we started how long ago? Like 3-4 months ago to work together, right?
So it's been a wild few months. I think we started like late 2021, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you can tell about your experience, how everything is going for you at the moment, and what your journey is.
Yeah. So I originally tried dropshipping in 2017 when it kind of like boomed, and everyone like it wasn't so mainstream as it was now, but it was starting to get to that point. I remember I was in, I think, junior year of high school for people in the US, and I tried a bunch of things and watched a ton of videos on YouTube, like I'm sure most people do, and it went absolutely nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd wake up, check my phone, wake up in the middle of the night at like 1 a.m. just random times, check my phone, nothing would, no sales. So I did that for like 2017 all the way up until, this is gonna sound crazy, but all the way up until literally 2021. Now it wasn't consistent. There was a massive gaps of breaks in that period where I would just fall off and not, you know what I'm saying, be interested in it. But then it would like spark up in me, and then I'd try it, and nothing would pop off. So then I'm on YouTube again, and I see Michael's video. And what I liked about Michael's videos was he had a bunch of interviews, a bunch of student success stories, which I didn't really see too many other people do. I would see the one-off video, but you had consistent multiple students, like damn near a whole playlist on people that you've helped. So I watched that. I visited his website. I am just personally, I'm a super skeptical person with things like this. So, but you know, going on your website, you have it laid out pretty streamlined. You know what I mean? Like there's not too much fluff in there. It's just kind of to the point. And I decided to take that leap of faith. We scheduled our introduction call, and it kind of it's just gone from there, man. And being in the program now, it's just like, for me, it's a little different because the first product we've tested worked. It might not be like that every time, but from 2017 to 2021, like nothing worked, and then it just, everything he said, it just worked, and it's like, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just a great feeling to finally see stuff that's working.
So yeah, maybe tell us how is it going right now? How did things pick up? Like when you saw that, like basically for you, the very first product you tested was instantly like an instant winner. Everything was super profitable off the bat. So yeah, how quick did everything go? How did we go about things?
Yeah. So I started again. I want to say it was late 2021. I initially was moving at a fast pace. We did all the product testing, and then I did kind of drag my feet a little bit. And then my grandma had passed away, so I was over there dealing with that. As soon as I got back, though, Michael had picked out a product from our little list of tests and said, test this one. We did that, and literally the first day I got a sale. And then he got nothing. The next day didn't get anything. We scheduled a call, and he told me to, because it was a product, he told me to lower the shipping down. And literally the moment you told me that, it just went crazy. So I kind of saw success like kind of off the bat with this product. And it's funny because I will look at statistics and I'm like, hey, Michael, I got a $2 cost per click. And he's like, this is
Cost per
ridiculous.
purchase. Cost per
Right.
purchase.
I'm sorry, yeah, cost per purchase.
Yeah.
And I just don't know, like, I didn't know how good that really was until he told me. So, it's, I'm
Yeah,
still
it was
very
pretty
new at
funny.
this.
It was pretty funny to see this because you basically like had no clue what the fuck is going on and things just
Right,
worked.
right,
And
right.
it
Yeah.
was like the metrics were really, really, really good, but you didn't understand that they're good. And
Right.
it was just constantly this thing where you tell me, all right, so I don't know what to do really. Things are
Yeah.
not really doing that well. I have no idea what's going on. Then I look at the numbers and it's like super profitable. Everything is just like a 10 out of 10. Everything is perfect. And I constantly had to like re-explain to you that this is like really, really good. But maybe you can share your screen and show us how everything went for you.
Yeah. Share the analytics.
Yeah.
All right. So I started May 9th was the first day I actually started
Actually, I
the store.
just checked back. We started together on the 6th of February. So yeah.
Oh wow. That's actually a lot sooner than I thought. I thought it was
Yeah.
wow. That's crazy. 4 months ago, man. This is ridiculous.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we initially I started the product on the 9th, and now it's the 26th. So it's kind of what it's done so far. Still
Yeah.
working on a
Yeah.
few
So
things.
So with you, I basically what was very, very important is that we don't scale things too quickly because
Yeah.
you're so new in the whole game. Like
Right.
I've heard all the questions you were asking me constantly, and I just understood you're not ready yet to scale properly.
He said, "Hell no."
Yes, yeah. Like
Yeah.
for the last like couple of weeks, we actually started to scale a bit up, and
Yeah.
like at around like 1K per day. But maybe go to your ads manager real quick.
Yeah. So I have two different ads manager. This is one of them.
So yeah,
Do?
this is yesterday, and basically the cost per result. So the cost per purchase is like $3, $3, $3. And on average, you have a $4, including one, which is like doing okay. But basically, this is a very interesting thing that most people get wrong. Like maybe you can select the whole time frame, and then we can see that. But a lot of people think that low ticket dropshipping doesn't work at all, and they think that the margins are not going to get add up, and it's just going to be unprofitable because basically like the margins could not allow it. Okay, so yeah, maybe click on update here. You spent three. Is that correct? Yeah. So you spend 3.4K and have like a $4.9 cost per purchase, and you have another ad account where you also spend money.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically here, this is the second account, and you spend 2.8K.
Yep.
So in total, you spent around $6,000, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much did you make again?
So in total revenue, 25.
25.
17.
Amazing. So it's like 3.5, 4 ROAS, something like that.
Yeah.
Basically doing really, actually, yeah, 4 ROAS, it should be even up over 4. So it's really, really profitable. And look at the average order value. If you scroll down a little bit here, don't scroll down too much, but basically the conversion rate is really high, 6%. Average order value is $17. $17 is something which people cannot comprehend. Like people think that if you have an average order value of $17 instantly, it's not possible to be profitable. Okay.
Right.
This is not reality because you show here your cost per purchase is like what, $4 on average over $5,000, $6,000 spent. So it's like this is very doable, and your product cost is maybe like $5, $6, something like that. So it leaves you with a margin. Yeah, it leaves you with a margin of like $7 per purchase in profit, in pure profit. And like somewhere around that, obviously it fluctuates with all the fees, etc. But if you look at the total orders here, it's like 1.4 thousand orders, and if you add that up, it's really good profit. And I mean, your profit margins are great. Like you have like a 30% margin, is that correct?
Yeah, so roughly 27, 30, it varies on the day, but yeah.
And
that's another thing I just recently found out is pretty good.
Like literally like 4 or 5 days ago, you were coming to me like you were panicking like crazy, and you're like, bro, I have no idea what it is, but I see all this revenue. I see that I made basically 25K in revenue, and now I check my profit, and it's only like 30% is profit. I don't know what to do. I think I should like turn everything off. And I was laughing at it because this is like 30% is really, really good. Everybody who is like doing dropshipping for a while now, like, they know that their 30% margins are great and they're amazing.
Right.
But it just shows that sometimes in the beginning, you
Yeah.
don't really have to know exactly what's going on. It's more about just trusting the process and blindly following it here. Like
Right.
you didn't double think anything I told you. You just did it instantly. Whatever I told you, you did it.
Yeah.
And that was good. And it
Yeah.
worked out really, really well for you. And yeah, basically the craziest thing to me is that constantly you're asking me things which you shouldn't be asking me with
Yeah.
doing 1K per day. Like you were asking me stuff like, all right, so what's a
Uh,
CBO again, or how do I create a lookalike audience, stuff like that.
oh yeah, man. Speaking of
So
which, we
yeah.
gonna have to talk about the lookalikes, man.
Yeah,
But yeah,
basically
so
basically you need to like it's crazy that it's actually possible to just
yeah,
blindly execute a strategy which actually is good without really knowing any details or any side things.
right. And what's crazy is even though I've been doing it for since 2017, which again isn't consistent, it just
Hmm.
goes to show that when you're on YouTube and you're looking at all this random, literally it's just random information. Some of it's outdated, some of it's a part of a different strategy where you
Yeah.
can't implement one strategy and merge it with another strategy. You can't use outdated information. When you're surrounded with all of that, you're not going to really learn anything. Because I'm a prime example. I've started in 2017, and now that I finally have something that's successful and working, I still don't know anything. I didn't learn
Hmm.
really too much from
Hmm.
2017 to now, because it's all
Yeah.
been just random information. I knew the basic, like, well, kind of the basics, um, and like how to set up a store and like where certain things are. But
Hmm.
as Michael was saying, just some of the basics I didn't know, because it's all just skewed information from all random parts of the internet.
Yes, and it's very hard to apply things which are just theory.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
it's very hard to understand all the like the theoretical concepts and make sure that you really apply the things which you need right now. Because on YouTube, it's super tough to understand what's actually for you. There's a lot
Right.
of really good advice. I'm not going to tell you and like sit here and tell you, okay, everybody on YouTube is just lying to you and
Right.
telling you
Right.
bullshit. That's not true. But
Right.
what is the case is, first of all, there is a big portion of those people who actually tell you bullshit, and and looking at the people who don't tell you bullshit, still it's not tailored to your exact situation. It's
Right.
maybe really good advice to me and really bad advice to you, or vice like the other way around. But it's
Right.
not for everybody. And in a program where we constantly have calls, it's something very different, where I just look at your situation. I don't
Yep.
think at all about the advice I would give to a person who already makes like a few $1,000,000, and I just
Mm-hmm.
think about what's the main thing you need to focus on, and that's it. And it also is shocking to me that a lot of people think they need to know all the theory before they actually get started. You see this with
I'm a
you're
prime
the prime
example.
example. Yeah, the prime example for this. You don't know the theory still, and it's
Yeah.
and it's still working. So
Right.
it's just blindly executing a really, really good strategy, and later then asking yourself why it worked, instead of
Yep.
asking why it's gonna work and not doing it properly. And yeah, just thinking about it.
Right.
But yeah, maybe you can like tell about like what changed for you right now, how everything feels in general with doing dropshipping,
Right.
like before
So
and now.
yeah. So um, before, okay, this is gonna be really hard to say, but I'm gonna try my best. So before, it was like I'd wake up each morning and not have resentment, but a little bit annoyed that why is it not working for me? I've seen it
Hmm.
on YouTube. I've seen a million and one people talking about, oh, 142,000 in 3 months, all this crazy stuff.
Hmm.
Which that's actually reasonable from what we talked about, if you know what you're doing.
Hmm.
But now it's like I'll wake up and it's like, okay, based off of yesterday, how many sales do I have right now, and do I think I can break my highest ever sales based off, like,
Yeah.
because usually I wake up at the same time. I'm like, okay, if I have 500 so far, okay, I'm on a good pace to break my all time. So it's kind of just like a whole mindset shift now. And I'm still working my like we've talked about my job. So I'll be sitting there talking with clients, and my phone is just going off. So it's kind of crazy. Now the biggest thing is profit tracking. Like
Hmm.
we've talked about that. You said it in other videos. you got to be so diligent with that. Like if you mess up one thing, it could just skew all your results. And I'm so nervous. Like it's never happened to me, but I've heard it, happen to other people, and it's just like I will live and die by profit tracking.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's very important for everybody. Like everybody who is in the program who starts making money, it's like it's such an important moment. You can mess up so many things when you start making money. You can like that is the moment where it's going to be very easy to make way more money, and it's also going to be very easy to mess everything up and lose everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why like everybody who was on this channel who just started to make decent numbers and just like basically had like a couple of weeks of making a few $1,000s, everybody talks about this. Like I make them scared about doing profit tracking. I make them scared about doing all those things and not going too crazy too quick. And for you also, like it's so important to make sure that you know all the numbers and that you don't go about everything too quick. And right now, there's no need to rush at all. I don't want you to scale to 5K in the next month because you're not ready yet. Like you're not at that stage yet. And what I want you to do is I want you to be in between like 1 and 2.5, maybe 3K for the next like 3 months. So you're consistently on that level, and then you can start scaling to the really high numbers. But it's way better to have, let's say, 3 months consistently at like 2.5K every single day than having like a 5 or 10K day and then crashing everything and then having zero.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's what I really like about you too, because it's not like you're not out here just trying to shoot me up to a high number so then you can say, hey, one of my students did X amount.
Yeah.
It's really like you're really looking out. Like you're like, okay, we're gonna get there. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to, and I wanted to touch on something that you said earlier where you said that you were taking it slow. I appreciate that because it's like we're building a foundation. We can't go from 0 to 100 without, going through the motions. And so far, I think this is my 7th day of hitting a K, 1K in sales. So it's consistent, and we're just slowly building up. So the next step is going to be 1,500, then 2K, and then 3K. So,
exactly.
I like that.
And it's good that you say that because basically for me, like if I'm only in this to actually see like a good number, flash it and show it on YouTube and then basically fuck off, this is not the way to go. Like I could make you go to 5K really, really quickly, but I'm not sure if you could stay there, and it's not worth it to do this risk. So basically right now it's just about playing things safe and not rushing anything. And I want you to basically build everything around like the whole business before you can actually make sure that you scale. Because right now, if something goes wrong with Facebook or something even goes wrong with this one product, things go down. If something goes down on PayPal, like it's a cash flow issue which you instantly have, So you don't want that on 5K level. You don't want to have that.
Because literally half of the income that the store brings is PayPal. Literally half. Like it's 50. Like on the breakdown, it's 50%. So if PayPal decides to just screw me, that's 50% of revenue just out there. Right.
And
Facebook as soon as you said Facebook issues, I started twitching. Like I'm having God, fucking Facebook, man. It just gives me PTSD, bro.
Yes.
I haven't even had nothing crazy happen to me. It's literally just been like some petty, like 1 week where my ad account is going through some issues, but it's just for anyone starting out with dropshipping, man, be prepared. Facebook is gonna fuck you at every single corner you take. I don't even know if I can curse, but
you can.
They're gonna literally just try to take you down.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Bro.
It's true.
It's
and are there solutions to this? Yes, 100%. Is it super simple and clear what to do in the beginning? No. And right now we need to work on exactly that. Like right now, the goal is to basically warm up multiple Facebook accounts and warm up multiple PayPal accounts. So if things go down, not everything goes down. Like there's a very simple, like to the PayPal thing, there's a super simple solution which solves everything. Basically, you make a new store, which is going to sell the exact same product. You make a new PayPal, you make a new, you use a new Facebook account and start everything from scratch on a new store again. And then you just warm up the PayPal account, you warm up new Facebook account, and you just have a few $100 running on that, and that's it. And you forget about it. That's it.
Yeah.
And whenever you have an issue with your main store, you instantly can scale. Like there's no delay, there's no issues.
Right.
And then you also have a PayPal account which is warmed up, which is worth so much. Like if you are on a good level and then things crash instantly, that's a big issue. Like if you make, let's say 3-4K per day, and 1.5K of that is coming in through PayPal, and all of a sudden they say 21 days is hold. That means that 1.5K of your money is going to be stuck for 21 days. And if your ad spend is, let's say, if you're making 3K, let's say it's whatever, 1,000, 1.5K. If you spend 1K per day, that means that you need to spend 1K per day, even though half of your profits and half of your revenue basically is just gone. So you need to scale down or have cash flow reserves and have credit cards and and that's why we need that's why we need to have backups. It's very important.
Yeah. And this is going to be a super beginner question. If PayPal suspends or blocks you or whatever it is, holds your money for 21 days, is that all money that's coming in as well as still is being held as well, or is
it depends? No. It depends. So it's for sure going to be new money coming in, but it depends on the percentage. Sometimes they, for example, say we're going to take 25% of your revenue for the next 90 days. Sometimes they say it's going to be 30% for the next 30 days. Sometimes it's 100% for the next 21 days. It's like different variations which PayPal can block you for. And yeah, like there are worst case and better ones. I think from all the students, the person who was hit the hardest was Blaži. Blagovest, he was also on the channel. Basically, like he obviously like pushed through it, and at this point he made like $4 million or something in the last 2 years. But he had a period of time where it was really, really bad with PayPal, and he had to scale down, and it was like a month off or something. But basically it's like I constantly am scaring everybody on your level. It's very, very important to do that, because you cannot get comfortable. I was so comfortable. I was so confident in everything after I saw those big numbers. I was just literally spending more money and making more. That was it. I didn't see anything else. And for you, it could be the same. Right now, you literally can spend 4 times the amount you're spending right now, and you're for sure instantly just going to make at least 3 times more profit. Maybe the profit margin is going to go down a little bit, but at least 3 times more profit you're going to do. So if you say that you're basically on a 30% margin, you're doing like 1K per day or a little bit more, it's like $300 consistently per month, per day, which is like 9K. You could triple that. Very, very simple. Very, very easily, but it's not going to stay consistent if you do it too quick. So that's that. So we need to take everything slow. But for you, what would you say is kind of the, like, obviously, did you tell all of this to anybody else? Did you have any reactions from people?
To be honest, I've mentioned it to I think one of my friends. My parents know, but I've kept it very, very low key, and there's a reason I'm doing that, because I know that money changes people. I know that also I'm not even at a stage where I can, like, I don't like to pre without even like, I've only done this for literally a little over a month. I think it's way too early to be going out to every family member like, oh, look what I'm doing. Like, it's just, and even if I was at that point, that's just not me as a person. I'm super reserved and quiet with certain things. This would be one of them. Even my 9 to 5 job, I don't really talk too in depth, especially about what I make. It's very just surface level stuff. So I have been around friends, like, if we're just kicking it and my phone will do that cha-ching, that little shop. They're like, what is that? And I'll make it up. I'll be like, oh, it's just Cash App. Someone's Cash Apping me money or something, like, because Cash App makes the same noise. So I'm just I'm reserved in that aspect. I don't like to, I also believe in, and this is just me personally, I believe in, like, when you say things and, like, put things out into the universe, like, people can, like the evil eye. Like I don't know if you know what that is, but like when people
Yeah.
like people can like
Jinx it.
everyone is not for you. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Mhm.
Everyone is not your friend. Everyone is not for you. I'm just reserved, and I'd recommend everyone to be like that until you get to a certain stage at least, where you can maybe help people out, refer them to Michael, things like that.
Yeah,
But,
for sure,
you know,
for sure. And the tricky part becomes where, like, I had this where it's kind of heartbreaking to even say this, but basically, I remember how one of my students, he started making really good money,
yeah,
and he started to donate a lot of the money and give away a lot of the money, which is great,
that's good. Yeah,
but it was too soon.
right.
And I had to tell, like, it was kind of a shitty move, but I needed to tell
Yeah,
him, bro, you cannot do this right now. This money, I
right.
understand that you want to give. It's amazing that you want to do that,
Yeah,
but right now, this money can 10x and then you can give it away. Right
right,
now, that money is worth way too much. So it's
right.
extremely important to not give too much too early. And obviously, you shouldn't take this as an excuse when, like, at some point, you will
Yeah,
have enough money and then you can give it. But yeah, it's very, very important to understand that every dollar you have right now, it
yeah.
can literally be 10x over the next like 3 years.
And that's
Super simply.
right, and that's another thing I want to bring up. I know as soon as people start making a lot of money, then all of a sudden you see them in Gucci, designer
Yeah.
goods, possibly a car, depending on how much you make. You got to hold off. I haven't spent a single dime of the profit from dropshipping. Any money I've spent is what's from my job, and even at that, I don't spend because I know some of that money I would want to move over to dropshipping. So you gotta just be super diligent, like basically you gotta live like you don't have it, live like you have
Yeah.
no money,
Mhm.
and then that's how you get to a point where you can go and buy all this extravagant stuff and not
Yeah.
worry about it. And that's the stage I'm trying to get to. If I go into a designer store and buy something, I want to buy it and not have to worry about it, not have to be like, oh my god, I just spent $600 on this fucking jacket. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I that's why I just recommend, like, don't spend money you don't really have at this point. Even though it looks
Yeah.
like you have it in your account, you don't really got it because you're trying to fund a business. Any
That's
person
also a good point.
yeah, any person, like in any other business, if you're like in a brick, like if you're opening up a store, right? All the money that you get, like first you're not going to be as like profitable in the first month, 2 months,
Mhm.
3 months, which you drop some you could be. But even with that, all that money that you do get from that store, you don't go and start buying cars and stuff. You reinvest into the business.
Yeah.
Drop shipping is the same way. Drop shipping is a business. You got to treat it like such.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure,
So,
for sure. And yeah, 100%. The main thing is that you just understand that the money which you see on the Shopify dashboard is not what you actually have,
right.
and
Yeah.
that money you actually have is also going to be taxed, which
Yeah.
everybody
Oh yeah.
underestimates as well. Which, like,
Yep.
it's a big thing. So it's very important to just see the dimensions where you see this great number and it gets cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, and then
Yep.
you have the real number. So yeah, basically it's just that's what profit tracking is about, just not
Right.
having this over too much confidence about how much you actually make because you see this
Right.
amazing number. And also one thing I've seen everybody, like, I've had a video about like recently, but basically probably you're also guilty of this. You refresh your Shopify dashboard every couple of hours, like probably more than every couple of hours, right?
Yo, that's literally like I'll be at work, and I'm just like just scrolling through my thing. Yeah,
It's
dude.
bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's
It
very,
really
very
is.
bad. It's such. It feels so productive. You feel so great about it because, like, you feel like you're just checking your ads, checking your store, and
Yeah.
everything is just like moving, and there's new things coming in, and everything is great. But in reality, you refreshing it has nothing to do with it, and you
Nothing to
shouldn't
do
do it.
with it.
Nothing
Right.
at all.
You're gonna get that same sale regardless if you're on the
Yeah.
phone or if you're actually working.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
So
that's a
yeah,
good point.
basically, what I would recommend to everybody is you check your Shopify dashboard twice a day. I know it feels amazing to constantly see this number because it's something unreal, and most people
Yeah.
don't even get to see that. But basically, you check your ads twice a day. You check your Shopify dashboard twice a day. If
Yeah.
you see that, like, for whatever reason, all of a sudden no sales are coming in for the last like 3 hours, which is super weird, then you can check it also that maybe something went down or something. But normally, twice a day is enough. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is something which is like it's so time consuming. You don't really. It's like having tons of friends who constantly text you all the time, and you need to let that sound on, and you need to reply to them while you're at work. It's almost impossible to be productive anywhere at work, and even doing dropshipping. So yeah,
I think the biggest thing is now I'm actually reaching out to that VA virtual assistant that you referred over, and because I'll also be at work or other places, and I'm responding to emails like some people like, where's my order, or can you change the size, is my address correct? It's all crazy, like super time consuming things. You have to type out a real response. You have to really look into that person's order, look into their tracking. So I think hiring a VA, I mean, you told me this from the get-go. I didn't really jump on it when you told me to, but now I'm like, shoot, it's like too much. You gotta get that VA.
And the whole like this whole like if you're on YouTube or on TikTok or on Instagram, you're gonna see a lot of videos about productivity, and to an extent they matter, but nothing will trump 5 people working for you. Nothing. Like you can be as productive as you want. Nobody in this world can put 5 times more than like it's 5 people. That's it. You have 8 hours per day, which you have as a working day, times 5. You're not going to have that as a single person. And to actually get there, you obviously need to make money, because you need to hire them. So yeah. But in general, what would you say was the main factor which contributed to you actually seeing the results right now? And also, like, which changes did we implement? What did you do differently specifically?
Right. So the biggest thing is kind of your expertise. Basically, you and Jonathan, both of you guys, just like, I will ask a question and then you will answer and then tell me 3 other things, like and we'll go in depth. Basically, it won't just be like a surface level answer. And then what was that second part of the question? Sorry.
Which specific things did you actually change to make this work right now? Like, but in between you doing things earlier.
The way the ads are laid out, man, I would have never thought, like, and I don't know if I can give too much away on the interview.
Go for it. We can blur it. We can mute it.
Yeah, mute anything out that I said. So the fact that we like did such a narrow interest, like we defined it a few times until it got to like a certain population size. I would have never thought of that, because in my mind, I'm like, well, why would I want to only advertise to 1,200,000 people when I could have a super broad interest and have 300 million people see the ad. But the point is, and this is what you literally said in the course, you're going for the low hanging fruit. You know, you're getting your pixel to a point where it knows what your customer is, and then when you do end up doing those broad targeting, they already know, or the pixel already knows what kind of customer it's looking for, and then it will start pulling from that broad. So yeah, you got to start narrow. I mean, that was the biggest thing. I mean, because every time I had tried it before, I would either try some course that I've seen on YouTube and it didn't work, or I would just go for super broad targeting and it would never work.
I mean, yeah. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I would completely disagree. I would say that has nothing to do with this work. Like, if all of your ad sets would be super broad, you would be super profitable. It's not. That's not the key moment. So I would say it's 2 things which you actually changed in reality. Number 1, the product you selected, or we said, like, you basically put it into the sheet, which I selected, was a 10 out of 10. It was a really, really, really good product. Everything just works. Okay.
Yeah.
And number 2, you had Yoni, or Jonathan, who basically is my brother and is doing all the creatives, who just made a really, really good video. For that. Yeah. So the ad, like, it's extremely, extremely good. And the combination of a really good product and a really good ad just worked. And obviously your offer is pretty good, and also the things on the store. But I would say, I would argue that you could have just had broad ad sets.
Oh, really? Wow, that's a good point. And yeah, I mean, even going back to Jonathan's ad, the user generated content performs so much better than those like you know what I mean, like those like stock like, oh, get free product, just pay shipping, or 50% off, whatever it is. The actual user generated, where the person shows the product it's coming from like a consumer point of view, and they're showing
Yeah.
real life examples that, oh my god, it's
Yeah.
like night and day.
Yeah,
Night
100%.
and day.
And also, like, your ad just doesn't look like an ad in reality. Like, if you really think about it, if you go on Instagram and just scroll around, your ad is not going to pop out that much,
Right.
because
That's the
most
biggest thing.
ads,
Yep.
yes, most ads, they stand out and they just scream, "I'm selling you something,"
Right.
and yours doesn't. And it's basically about exactly that. If you personally scroll around on Instagram, you stop scrolling when you see ads.
Yeah. No, hell no.
Yeah, and do you stop scrolling when you see an interesting video, which is just hard, like you're interested in that niche and you just see a random video in that niche? Do you stop scrolling there?
100%. And a
Yeah.
prime example of that, I don't know if you know this product. I'm sure some people do. It's that little porter charge where it has like and you can just plug the charger in. So I'm not a phone gamer, but I do like to play on the game, like console gaming. So I was scrolling through my feed and I saw, I think it was like when Fortnite on the phone was super big, or Call of Duty Mobile or something like that. And someone was playing it, and then they go into their whole pitch with, like, they're pitching you without you knowing that they're pitching you a product. Those type of ads, and if you know what I'm talking about, then it kind of makes more sense. Those, I mean, they're probably making like hundreds of thousands a month, and it's because their ad is so damn good. Like, it's like you clearly see it's a product. You kind of know that you're being advertised, like, in the back of your mind, but it's not so explicit. It's not in your face.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, you see yourself clicking buy now and check it out. You know, so
For sure. And I'm searching for the example here right now, but probably a lot of the viewers probably also know Mr. Beast, you know?
right.
Yeah. So he's like one of the biggest YouTubers at the moment. And it's just so amazing how he's doing ads. Basically, he has like a huge channel where he's doing whatever, it doesn't really matter. But basically, he has a video where the video goes on and the ad is so embraced in the video that you don't have a chance to skip the ad. And this is what you want. Like, normally when you have a YouTube video, and now let's get to our sponsors. This is
yes,
that's bad. Yes, everybody skips instantly because you don't care. You're not here for the sponsor. You're there for the video.
Yeah.
And this guy, he just embedded it in a way where he's saying something about the product, and at the same time, relevant things about the video are happening, and you need to watch. Like, if you skip this, you're not going to understand what's happening. So
100%.
it's exactly that. You need to make people just not see ads. It needs to be super seamless. It needs to be very natural. And it cannot be just in your face, and that's it. And that's what most people get wrong. If you go to all those big companies, like whatever, like bands of ads, viral ecom vids, like all the Fiverr guys which are doing ads for people.
That's what I was using.
They don't look
too.
like that. Yeah, they don't look like
Prior.
that. Unfortunately, they don't look like that. Of course, you can make it work, and most people, like, if you look at what most people do in general, it's not what we do. It's not this perfectly fitted into Instagram thing, but it's just like they can work, but it's just so much harder. And you don't want that. Like, right now, the low hanging fruits, that's actually in reality what you want for the ads and for the product. Like, if you would have come up with a list where your product wouldn't be in, I would probably not even let you test anything, because we only test products which are very easy to sell.
And that's funny you mentioned that, because when you picked the product that you picked for me out of that list, I was gonna go along with it because you know obviously better than me, but I was like, in the back of my head, I'm like, what is this product? Like I was kind of doubting it. I'm like, I don't know if it's gonna be as, I mean, it might work a little bit, but I would have never have guessed. I was even telling my mom too. I was like, what do you think of this product? And she's like, oh, it could work. It might. And now I'm like, yeah, I think it worked. Without obviously giving it away, which you wouldn't. How did you what did you see in the product that you were like, oh yeah, this is the one that we got to test?
Yeah. So it has a couple of factors which I saw just stand out really, really well. It's always different for all the products, and at this point, it's kind of this I developed over the years, where I just see
Right.
if a product is really, really good. And when I saw yours, by the way, it was one of those where I was not really doubting if it's going to work. I was pretty confident in that product. I wasn't sure if you're going to make it work, but I
Got it.
knew that product, somebody will make money with this product. But yeah, basically, when I saw it, like the number one thing is I saw a few clips for that product, which were just like outstandingly good, like really, really, really good. And I've already seen those clips. And I then saw this product and I was like, all right, for this product, we can make a banger 10 out of 10 ad. Like it's going to be an amazing ad.
Yeah.
And that was one big part. There were obviously other things, which just like a baseline, which needed to be in place. Yeah, like also your product is extremely easy to target, obviously. That's
good
big.
point.
It's very, very easy. And most people just test products, which are very tough to target. So it's also bad. And there were also like a few other criteria, which I cannot really give away here on YouTube. But yeah, basically it standed out like next to all the other products you had in the sheet, it standed out drastically.
Really? Wow. Yeah, because I was looking at it, and I'll give this work. It doesn't matter at this point, but it was like a laser pointer, which I saw on TikTok, and I'm like, oh, that could work. I was like, oh, that laser pointer could work. There was like a stupid like slingshot thing, and I was like, oh, I mean, I could target what I like gamers. I don't know who I target with that, but yeah, I would have never guessed the product that you picked.
Yeah. So stuff like the slingshot, for example, there's not even only the baseline criteria. One of the criteria, which is huge, is your product Facebook friendly? And a slingshot, which has a laser, is the most unfriendly product you can actually imagine, because the slingshot is a weapon, and the lasers are actually also against Facebook policies. So even those like skincare laser things are very problematic. You need to have really stable accounts, agency accounts, which actually to even test them. So like it's a lot of policy things which you need to think about, and even products which are not against policy, which need to show something which is against policy. Like if it's some product where you need to show a lot of skin, for example, or it's a product which has like a blade, which is not something bad, but it has a blade, it can go in. It just Facebook will block it, and you don't want that. It's not. You need to understand that there's an infinite amount of products, and you need to pick a really, really, really good one. Because why the fuck not? If you have all the products out there, why would you not pick like something which is ticking all the boxes? Why just like half-ass it?
And you probably want to pick something that, like as you said, is just like undoubtedly safe to market. Like without a doubt, it can't be construed as like a weapon. It can't be construed as like inappropriate in any way. Like the product that I'm doing, you cannot. There's no possible way that you could like ban it for being Facebook friendly.
Basically. Yeah, no, for sure not. And it's like, it's also the super annoying thing about Facebook is misunderstandings. If you say it's like, as an example, before after pictures are not allowed, and the words before after, if you say them, that's not good. But if you mention them in a sentence not related to any results, not like it's not meant what's actually against policy. If you just have like, before I went there, it was so fun, and after it we just went to dinner, that's going to get blocked, even though you did nothing wrong. Like there's no before after effect. You don't promise anything, but Facebook just has this algorithm where
it's an algorithm.
They like, it's not a person reviewing things, it's an algorithm. And you can only get rid of that by actually using agency accounts, which like at some point I'm also going to give to you. It's a little bit too early, but basically like the agency accounts were like, they're really, really good. And basically it's Facebook just has some accounts which they prefer, which they trust, and that account is going to give you access so you can spend money from their thing. And what
what is the agency account, and what, like, is he? It's one of those questions, man.
So basically, look, when we get to a little bit of a higher stage, we could technically start right now, but I don't really see the point. Basically, agency accounts, like it's an official agency which is connected to Facebook, which has really stable accounts where everything which is advertised on that account is only going to get blocked if a person from Facebook looks at it and tells you this is bad. So the manual, like the it's only manual review. It's not automatic review.
Got
A
it.
robot
Got it.
is not there. Okay.
Got it.
And it's pretty tough to actually get a hold of them if you don't know where. And it's also very expensive. Like if you just like, it's very tough to actually get a hold of the agency directly. So you need middleman. And to actually get the middleman, you need to pay them anywhere between like 5 and 10% of your ad spend forever, basically. So that sucks. Or you have to pay them like 1 or 2 grand a month. And the main problem there is that you don't really get like it's virtually impossible to get direct access to the agencies, and we do have those because like I know a person who actually worked with them really close. At this point we do have access to them, but yeah, basically the crazy part about it is if you have direct access to them, it doesn't cost you anything. So it doesn't cost you any money because the agency actually gets cash back. So if they spend $100,000 on like if you spend $100,000 on their account, they get $5,000 back from Facebook. So it's worth it for them. So they get cash back from Facebook directly. So you don't need to pay them. And agencies basically don't charge like if they charge, it's a middleman.
Oh, got it. Okay. This
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Maybe one last question is what type of advice would you give to somebody starting out and they tested things, didn't work? What do they do?
Honestly, man, this is gonna be such a basic thing. I would like, you haven't paid me for this in any way. I would just check out, just check out Michael's program, speak to him, just figure out, because it's so hard unless you already got like someone that does it. It's so hard to maneuver because you're gonna have a million and one questions. You're gonna have issues that you've never encountered in the past, and without either having someone that's been in the business or that's done it, you're not gonna know, and it's gonna cost you time and money that when you're starting out you don't really have. Honestly, I would at least do a consulting call with Michael or an introduction call and see if it's a fit. He'll see if it's a fit, but just you got to get help from somewhere. I mean, unless you've done it, unless you have a connect, unless you have someone that can walk you through it, it's super hard to start. And you'll see, like right now, the biggest thing on drop shipping is the TikTok. What is it called? It's where you like don't spend anything on ads.
TikTok organic.
Or organic. Right. That's the biggest thing. If you type in dropshipping on YouTube right now, it's gonna be TikTok or organic. Even that, it's all a game. You have to, and if you don't know how to play the game, you won't be successful. So you got to find someone that knows what they're doing. You know, in this case, like even when I was initially looking into signing up, I was typing on Google, like trying to look you up. I'm like, has anyone done reviews on his thing? Has anyone made YouTube videos on it? And yeah, man, it's just taking that leap of faith. You gotta spend money to make money. So
yeah,
I know it's not the best advice. I mean, but it's just the truth. Like I'm not special in any type of way. I don't know everything. But when you have someone that does, it will just make it 10 times easier. Really what it is.
Yes. So click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session. We're gonna talk there.
Thanks.
and find out if everything is a good fit. But yeah, no, honestly, like I've seen your progress is really, really amazing, and it's also amazing to watch you kind of grow from where we started to now. And there's still a lot of things to do, and that's like I'm constantly laughing at your beginner question, but it's still a really good start. And right now, the main thing you just got from this, if you even forget everything, like you lose all the money, nothing works, like, you're done. Still, you understand that it's possible to make money online.
Right.
Like right now, that's the
100%.
first. Yes, and this opens up something new, where you 100,000% know if I do things right, there is a way out there where I can just sit in front of my laptop and make money without like I can be wherever the fuck I want, whenever. Nothing matters. I just do this and it works.
And that's kind of the crazy thing with not being successful with something, that you automatically think it doesn't work or it's a scam or whatever the case is, where in reality, no, it's not. It's not that it doesn't work. It's not that it's not real. It's just that you haven't got to that point yet where you made it work. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking like dang, is this like in the back of my head? I knew it wasn't, but I'm like prior to doing like making anything with dropshipping, I was like, is this even real? Like, what am I doing that's not working? Like, what am I doing that, or what are those other people doing that's making them successful? What am I not doing that's not making me successful in this? So
It's so hard to backtrack. Like even when you're successful, we saw like right now what your answer to why things worked out was not the thing which made it work. And it's
yeah,
extremely hard to understand. Like if you only see the result, you see it works or it doesn't work.
right,
Why is such a broad question for a beginner. It's almost impossible to backtrack why things worked out or why things didn't work out. And it takes
yeah,
years. And like for me, like dozens of stores I saw until I actually started to really understand the system. And even in the
yeah,
back in the day when I started out, I was blindly following a strategy which somebody told me. I had a
right,
mentor who told me what to do. I did exactly what he did, like what he told me to do. I had no idea why it's working. Literally, I was doing it for a year almost before that, and nothing was really working.
yeah,
I changed things up. It started to blow up like crazy, and I don't know understand why. And basically, I needed to split test so many things for like at least half a year
yep,
until I started to really understand why things work and what works. And also at the same time, over the next year or two, I started to really understand everything so much better through the mentoring program as well, where I have this overview over your product, every other person's product, and my product as well. So I have this kind of matrix overview where I see everything from a bird eye,
yeah,
and I just know what's working and what's not working, and the strategy just grows exponential through that. So
yeah.
yeah, basically to backtrack why things work or why things don't work is almost impossible as a beginner.
And that's
And that's
yeah,
this whole reason why you need a person who's going to guide you through it.
and that's why when you ask me that question in the back of my head, I'm like, dang, well, like, how do I answer this?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, it's really simple. I mean, it's how did you get to this point? You. Just that's how I mean. I'm just man. I try to be humble, bro. It's just like I am not special. I was in the same shoe as whoever's watching this video. It's really just it's like a breath of fresh air just seeing things work. And
Yeah.
it could all it could, um and this is also going back to the where you like don't spend money you don't have. It's only
Mm-hmm.
been from the 9th of last month to the 26th of this month. It's like a month
Mm-hmm.
and 2 weeks or whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
3 weeks. So you got to stay consistent. Don't spend money until you have done it successfully and consistently for 6, 7, 8, 9 months.
Yeah.
Even then, be cautious. So yeah, it's just consistently got to stick through it. So
Exactly. And like at this point, you maybe made like 6, 7K or something like that in profit. And you cannot take this in comparison to doing that for years. You know, that
yeah,
like it's such a big difference, and you need to
right,
understand that right now it's just the beginning. There's so many more things, so many more obstacles, and it's gonna
right,
get like it's probably gonna get harder from here
yeah,
in a lot of other areas, but it's also the main thing which got easier right now is this is possible. It's worth it to push right now. Like
yeah,
whatever obstacle comes from here, it's so much easier to stay motivated because you understand in the back of your head
yeah,
whatever is going on right now can
yeah,
happen again if I just do the right steps.
yeah. And what's kind of cool is that you have those students that are like those mega success stories where they're doing 4 million.
Mm-hmm.
The number that sticks out of my head the most, what I try to put as a goal is $1,000 in profit per day,
Yeah.
30,000 a month, and then whatever that is for a year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's that's like the biggest number, like the 4 million. Yes, that's cool. It's a crazy high number, but the 1,000 in profits. I'm like, what could you do with $1,000 per day in profit? And that's what one of your students is actually doing per day.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of like a goal in the back of my head. Like, okay, that's eventually I want to get to that point. It's not going to be in a year or whatever. It might not be in months, but that's what I want to eventually get to.
Yeah.
So
First
just
of all, it's also
setting those goals.
it's multiple students, but yeah, yes,
Yeah.
like
Oh, yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
Basically, you're referring to
yep.
Felix the last interview, but
Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
yep,
that's like there's a couple of stages where things start to change. The first one is just seeing success, seeing that things work. The second one
mm-hmm.
is consistently making like 10K profit per month, and the third one is getting from 10 to 30K consistently per month, like for at least a year. And that's like 10K is great, and you can live off that really, really well. I'm not gonna like, obviously 10K is amazing, but it's not life-changing. Like 10K a month, you can sustainably live really well, and it depends on your lifestyle at what point it's enough. But I would argue that at like 15 to 25K is the bare minimum to kind of hit this like real next level. And from there, obviously, there's just like so many more steps, but that's just like the next level which everybody needs to hit. And yeah, basically that's that.
Yeah, bro. It's a high off life.
Yeah,
high off life.
yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, really appreciate your time here.
No, dude, I appreciate
I'm looking
it.
forward. I'm looking forward to doing another like interview maybe in a few
Yeah,
months.
6, 7 months
From there.
down the line, 100% see
Yeah.
everything's at. I mean,
Yeah.
that's even gonna be crazy just for me to look back on this
Mhm.
video and then look at the next one that we do and just see where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because 6 months prior to 6 months before now, I would have never thought it'd be at this point. So
Yeah. Yeah. All right, for everybody else, if you actually want to join the mentoring, if you want to see if everything is a good fit, click the link below, sign up for a free consultation session. We can just talk it through, see if everything is fine. If yes, we're going to start working together. And if in general you also have any questions, you can just DM me on Instagram. I just started being a little bit more active on there, so you can start just texting me there. And yeah, basically click the link below. See you there. And thank you, Arman, for your time.
I appreciate it, man.
Bye-bye.